Good evening, Ira Epstein, and here we are on Monday, the 25th of September, 2023, and the time about 6:28 p.m. Central Time. If you watched today, you saw sometimes volume wasn't that big in the marketplace. Volatility, depends on the market. Most markets weren't that volatile. The Jewish people around the world were celebrating Yom Kippur, their holiest of religious days today. It's the culmination of the new year, their Day of Atonement. It ends sundown, wherever they're at, and tomorrow they'll get back to work. So things will get back going tomorrow. We're a day closer to the Armageddon, I guess, of the government shutting down again. Moody's has already thrown the warning shot. They're going to lower U.S. credit rating. Other countries looking at us wondering what the heck's going on. We have quite a precedent. And during it, our president's going on strike. He's going to go to the picket line. And I guess at some point after he's through picketing with the workers there, he'll probably call on Ford, GM, or Stellantis and ask them for help the way he has the oil companies. And, it's going to fall on the deaf ear. I don't know if you're watching the borders. You got to pay attention there, how many people are flocking in. I think it was a record 300,000, they said now in August, 11,000 yesterday alone. The U.S. can't handle this, period, all right? We can handle it if the government were there with funds, setting up what they should be setting up. But if you tell me that's a border policy, next November you can vote. What can I tell you? And that's why in the poll, it's hard for me to believe that Trump is ahead of Biden in the polls. But polls are polls. They change all the time. But who would think that with 4 indictments and this is happening? It's the man's own making, in my opinion. All right. So we're going to get, by the way, as you know, Wednesday nights, new time, you're going to start hearing from the remaining candidates. But somewhere along the line, some got to fall off. So this is an interesting time. You're getting embedded readings in the stock market ETF video I just did all over the board. Tomorrow I'll be so busy, I'm going to wake up earlier than I normally do and be ready that I could put out all the trades that I'm going to have. A lot of them won't stay embedded. They'll be lost. Others will. And if you get an opportunity on a rally to sell short, some of those plays will happen. Do you remember a month ago, I did my stock index report and I predicted and came out here and kept saying it. I think September is going to be a disaster of a month. It took the first week and a half. By the way, it was not fun. Market kept rallying and rallying. I'm going, I guess I'm going to be wrong on this one. And then it all came together. And this has been just one hellacious month to the downside, and last week was a losing week. Now, it wasn't the biggest of the year. It's the highest probability one to be a down week of the year from everything I keep reading. Doesn't mean that what I read is right. And it was a down week by a good amount, about 3%, 3.5%, so that was pretty good. But if you just look on your chart, you see you got some weeks 4.5% that were bigger. Still a big decline. And I know you're going to tell me, Ira, boy, are you wrong. You're going to get, in the next 5 days, a huge rally that'll make September come back. Sure you will. Okay, in the gold market, gold is staying underneath the 18-day average of closes. So what it's done is it rode it, it came down here, got under it, and it's still having great problems. When you're under the 18-day average, to me, it's a filter. I was doing today part of the day, I take breaks and do different things. And I was just to myself going, gee, why don't I take a look at the moving average PowerPoints, because I'm going to be re-recording my whole new course. And I went in, did it, and showing people the idea of bias, really cleaning them up nice so that when I talk with them, you get the idea. But when you're under that, what it triggers in my brain and in reality, the way I teach is I'm looking for potential sell signals, not buy signals. When the market's over that, I'm looking for potential buy signals, not sell signals. Got it? It's a filter. I then take a look at what the regular chart is showing, and this chart is bearish. Why? The pattern is lower highs right now and lower lows. Now, this was the confusing day. Do you see this day where you have this big up next to the red arrow here? It's an outside day up, and as soon as you took out that day's low, which you should not do if you took my outside day course, the market went on its rage to the downside, but it has not hit a big downside target. The open target is wherever the Bollinger Band is before that high is taken out now. We'll see what happens. That high doesn't matter so much. It's good for 48 hours, but the objective remains open, period, unless you get another chart pattern. Now, what would be that other chart pattern to say, nah, maybe you're never going to get to that band? In my opinion, if you took out 1949.10, see that right through there? That's Friday's high. If that's just taken out, you'll change the whole pattern on the chart. So that's the number I don't want to see taken out, which also tells me the pros might come into this market with momentum down, bias down, and want to defend short positions against the 18-day average and not see it over that number. Wouldn't surprise me in any manner. Objective remains what was set up when you got this number here, when you took out the outside day's low right down through here. In the gold-silver ratio, well, you're sitting here over the 18-day average. So I'm going to keep this in gold. Now, if you get under it, it means silver's stronger than gold. And each time it goes from 80 to 75 to 70, I only need 70 ounces, 75 or 80 ounces to get an ounce of gold. But when it's over the red line and keeps going higher, it means gold is stronger than silver. In the silver market, we don't have a trend. You have a higher high, lower low pattern, and momentum's sideways maybe, slightly pointing up with the bias down. I just don't see a setup. In the copper market, everything that can go wrong in Chinese housing is going wrong. You have the Golden Week coming up that starts, I think, on the 29th of September. It lasts about 7 or 8 days, and the Chinese people basically take off. And they go visiting people. It's a big celebration time. But it's also a major time of new home purchases. Historically, this is a big week. Well, Evergrande today missed more bond payments. They had to call off a meeting that they were going to announce some restructuring. Couldn't get it done. There are 2 or 3 other companies now, Hong Kong-based as well. They are missing payments. They are in serious trouble. You're taking all the air out of people that might want to buy, and you'd have to say to yourself, should I buy a new home that I may not get? I give them my money. It won't be ready for a year and a half. What if they go bankrupt? Who's protecting me? Or do I buy an existing home somewhere where I'm just, for my money, I get it. It doesn't take a genius to figure that one out if you can do it. So we'll see what the Chinese people decide to do. In the platinum market, I'm getting new sell signals. I think the pros are going to sell this market at 926. I think they'll have stops. It's a serious risk. It's all the way up to 947.10 over that high. And I think they'll be looking to see, can they finally push the market down there? We'll see if that happens. In the dollar index, you're now up to another profit-taking number, just the way you were here, as you're hitting those Bollinger Bands. That's where I think some money comes off the table. But this is that pattern you look for, that embedded slow stochastic reading. Now, what does embedded mean? The embedded reading means that the K and the D lines, maybe I should come back to that. They've gotten over the 80 level and they've stayed there together for a certain amount of days. And on breaks to a key moving average, which I don't show here, the market's often a buy. You bail in its most simplistic form. If you lose the reading, there's a certain number that I give you. So if you'd like to learn this technique, and it is a technique, it's something that shows up ETFs all the time, the stock market all the time, here all the time, and you could decide, oh, you know, that makes sense. Look how he's teaching it. It's 14 video chapters. We give you the charting software. You get historic data, and then you get the data that's happening today. Plus, each morning for 2 weeks, you'll have free access to visit me in my morning subscriber videos where I explain it all in real markets every single morning. I drive it home to you. So if you're looking for a tool like that, that might be something very cool, all you need to do is move your cursor to the top up here. That'll take you there. You can go to iraepstein.com under the word research, or actually it's going to be under the word education. It's the enhanced Bollinger Band course, and you can watch this ad that I'm going to bring up right now. At any time, move your cursor to the top of the page, give a click. The best thing you can do, and I'm going to repeat it over and over, is educate yourself, make yourself the tool so that you look at something and you go, wow, look, I remember what he taught me. And look, there it is, it's unfolding, all right? Take a look, you decide if that should be in your trading arsenal. I know what I think, it's all about what you think. Take a look at this. Welcome, I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.